Assalamu alaikum, everyone. My name is Muhi Khwaja with American Muslim Community Foundation, and today on the Muslim Philanthropy podcast, we have Sister Moina Shaiq, and she is with Meet a Muslim and is being recognized as a Lifetime Achievement nominee. So, welcome to the show and congratulations.
Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. So, having moved to the San Francisco Bay Area 7 years ago, I got to know of you and your family, and in the Fremont area, San Francisco Bay Area, you have been so involved, and I could talk about so many different things from the Democratic Party to interfaith work to even at the county level and at the city level and everything in between. You have recognition and awards from Alameda County Women's Hall of Fame, which is really amazing. You also have been recognized as Woman of the Year by state senators, and you've received multiple awards from the interfaith community as well. So it's really inspiring to see you as a community leader. And again, just want to say congratulations on this nomination.
Thank you so much. I'm really humbled and honored.
So let's start off with the Meet a Muslim and kind of share with us first, how long you've been in the Fremont community, and when you started Meet a Muslim and kind of how that happened.
So we moved here to Fremont in 1982. So it's 38 years now. Had my kids here, raised all of them. I have four kids. Uh, After the birth of my last child, I started getting involved in the community, and shortly thereafter, 9/11 happened. And of course, it turned our world around, everybody's, and for Muslims more so. And I realized that more and more studies were coming out and research that said that majority of Americans have never met a Muslim, even up to 80%, 90% people. And I started thinking, what can we do to meet these people? So I got involved into interfaith work, but it was always preaching to the choir. The same faces, the
Mm,
same people would come all the time. And I started thinking how to get reach to the masses who do not come to the interfaith event, but I couldn't think of anything. And then I had done several vigils when there were shootings that were done by Muslims in America or outside America. And every time that I held a vigil, I used to think we come together after the fact. What can we do before proactively so that things don't happen along these lines? In 2012 in Wisconsin, there were six Sikh men were killed in a Gurdwara. And Fremont has a huge
mm,
Sikh community. We held a big vigil at Central Park. There were a couple of thousand people there.
wow.
When I went there, again, I started thinking, what can I do? And I talked to a few friends, but nobody had any ideas, and I had no idea either. But the thing was kept on in my mind that we need to do as Muslims something proactively so that things of this nature don't happen to us also. And that's when in 2016, I believe, in San Bernardino, the shooting happened, where a Muslim couple
Right.
killed about 20 people. That's when it was just, I said, this is it. I took on myself that I need to do something. If anybody does anything or not, I want to do something. And that's when this thought came to my mind that I'll go sit in a coffee shop, put a small ad in the paper saying, come meet a Muslim. And then I put some bullet points, like so people can figure out, what kind of questions they can ask. And I said, what is the difference between Shia and Sunni? Why are Muslim women oppressed?
Mm,
What is Sharia law? So,
wow.
the hot topics that are on people's minds. Why are Muslims being radicalized? So people can feel that, okay, these are the kind of questions they can come and ask. The first event I did at a coffee shop in Fremont, and seriously, Fremont is so diverse. and there's so many Muslims here. I thought maybe a few people might show up. So I took my laptop just in case nobody came. I'll do my work and come back. It was attended by over 100 people, that first event. It was overwhelming, and it gave me a jump start to,
Wow.
I realized that people are eager to learn about Islam and Muslims.
So even to think, just in a coffee shop, like it must have been packed first of all,
Yes.
and it must have been really challenging to try to answer everybody's question. So a lot of people may shy away from trying to be a spokesperson or representative of Islam, or many people don't feel obligated to. But here you were, you had such a conviction of wanting to help combat the stereotype, to
Mhm.
help show people who Muslims really are. So what do you feel has been some of like the learning experiences through this, and how often do you still do these events, and what, obviously now with things going virtual, like what do you feel has been the outcomes and the experiences through these events?
Oh, I have had wonderful experiences. So the first event was at a new coffee shop in Fremont that is huge. Otherwise, coffee shops are small. So thank God I picked that place. But since then, I have traveled across the U.S. to the East Coast, the West Coast, in between, doing these events because, Alhamdulillah, a lot of media coverage was given to my work. And there was a story in the Christian Science Monitor that came out. So people heard about my work through different venues. So I'm being invited by colleges, churches, faith communities, schools, you name it, groups of people, like like a Rotary Club and stuff like that, where people meet. So different areas of gatherings where people gather. I'm being invited there. The experiences have been overwhelming at times. I remember one time I was holding an event here in Fremont, and the day before, my story had appeared in the San Francisco Chronicle. And
Mm,
so there was a guy who came 5 or 10 minutes before the event started, and he had a copy of the newspaper in his hand, and it was highlighted. And he asked me some questions, and I said, you know what, why don't you wait till everybody's here and I will answer your questions so that everybody can hear the answer at the same time. At that event, there was a woman who completely hijacked the event. She would not let anybody speak. So this guy didn't get a
wow.
chance to ask his questions. After the event, he just dashed out the door. I
Mm,
ran after him. I said, what happened? And he said, because I already told you that I had questions, you did not allow me to ask a question. And
mm,
I said, you saw what was happening. I was very respectful. I was trying to ask that lady to, give other people a chance, but she was not. So after that, I sat with him one on one, and he said he didn't want you to come to the event because he hated Muslims, and that his father, who he
wow.
lived with, thought that Muslims were all terrorists. And
Mm,
so he actually didn't even want to come, but just that story in the paper compelled him to come. I sat with him for about half an hour. We had a very nice conversation. At the end, he shook my hand and he said, you know what? I'm leaving a different person today, and I'm going to go tell my dad that Muslims are not terrorists.
wow.
So things like these happen. People tell me that, oh, we never connected KKK to ISIS, and the way you have can make these connections, or these things were never on our radars. We never thought of things the way you have, the analogy and all that. So it's just very heartwarming.
Yeah, I mean, imagine if he left that event without having a chance to talk with you,
Yes,
right? So I
yes.
think that's like hypercritical of even just being able to change one person's mind, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
And now, hopefully, that breaks a cycle of racism, of um, all of these societal issues, and
Right.
hopefully they now have a more open mind and understanding of being able to meet with people of other faiths, of other backgrounds, of other cultures, and just be a better citizen as well.
Right. I mean, I have been told to my face by people that you are lying, whatever you're saying, because Muslims are allowed to lie,
Hmm.
and you're just portraying a rosy picture of Islam and Muslims. So I try to convince them, I try to talk to them, but of course, there are certain people you just can't do anything about. But I respect the fact that they come to my event to listen to me, even though they think that I'm lying. And who knows, at the end, they might leave with something positive.
Let's hope so. I mean, we're living in such polarized times.
Yes,
The
right.
community is divided. We see issues for Black Lives Matter, for social justice overall, and just so many challenges that hopefully the Muslim community can be part of solving. And I think your attitude and outlook of rolling up your sleeves, getting right into the community, and interacting with them has done such phenomenal work in showcasing who Muslims really are. So, you know, I know nobody probably asked you to do it, but we're really thankful for your service in that regard.
Well, it's my job. I feel that, I have to show the right picture of Islam. And I tell people that vast majority of Muslims think the way I'm thinking. There's a small percentage, just like in any group or any faith, that hijack the faith. It doesn't mean that. I tell them, do you give the microphone to KKK to speak for all Christians? And they immediately say no. Then I say, why do you give it to ISIS? Why don't you listen to the majority of Muslims in this world and just give the microphone to this little percentage of people who call themselves Muslims? And Allah knows best. I don't know. But I mean, again, why give them the stage to speak for all Muslims in the world?
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think of how the Muslim community is portrayed, and there needs to be more representation in the media. There needs to be more representation in city councils and halls of Congress, all the way up to local to federal government. And we've seen that progress and development in the community, but we know that there needs to be more. So in terms of like the Muslim community or your sense of community, what are some of your hopes that we can achieve?
So I tell my Muslim brothers and sisters the most important thing is get to know your neighbor. And I mean, as Muslims, we are not supposed to eat dinner till our neighbor has food on the table.
Right.
Of course, Alhamdulillah, the society that we live in, we know that all our neighbors have food on the table. But if a neighbor is sick, if there is any need, we don't even know them. People don't even talk to their neighbors, they have no idea. So that's something that I've been really pushing our community to start doing. I tell them, even if you have lived in a neighborhood for 10, 15, 20 years and you have not met your neighbor, go to their home, make something, buy something, just knock on their door and own it. Tell them, I've been your neighbor for this many years, but I'm sorry, I've been busy in my life, or whatever your excuse is. But today I'm here to meet you. They're not going to slam the door on your face. They will embrace you, they will welcome you.
Yeah.
And that is the first step that you need to take. It's so important for people to know us. Just in our ordinary day to day life, you don't have to do anything special.
Right. That's
So that's
beautiful.
that's the most important thing that I feel. Once you know somebody, then all the stereotypes, all the misconceptions just fall on the sides. Nobody cares about those things. If they even hear about something, they would immediately think that my neighbor is a good person. Although they're Muslims, they're good people, and I know them. This is not who they are.
Right. Um, Really inspiring words, Moina Auntie, and just really thankful for your service to the community, and really excited for your nomination. And you deserve all the recognition, although you may not seek it. But we're really proud of you, and congratulations again.
Thank you so much for your kind words, Muhi. I really appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thanks for the
and
opportunity to speak here today.
of course, and I see you as a role model. I'm sure so many people see you as a role model. So thank you for being a positive influence on society and somebody that people in my generation can look up to and hopefully continue to lead the way in your footsteps as well.
Thank you.
All right, take care.
All right. Assalamualaikum.
Bye.